NewsX. My name is Vineet. We have someone special joining us at this point in time. Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, former Maharashtra Chief Minister, is with us on the program. Mr. Chavan, I appreciate you taking out the time, sir, and speaking with NewsX. First of all, sir, your assessment of what happened here. Every exit poll got it wrong. Every pollster that gave the Congress party a formidable chance to form the government in Haryana got it wrong. What, according to you, transpired today?
Well, we are all surprised as all the pollsters and all exit poll takers, all the analysts in the newspapers. We will not be able to pinpoint what went wrong unless we sit down, introspect, and find out from various sources. That will happen in due course. But the main issue is whether this result will impact the forthcoming elections, one of them being Maharashtra election.
Go on,
I
sir.
think this is, while we're happy about the Jammu and Kashmir result, the democracy has been restored there. I hope the state will get back its statehood very soon, and they will undo the damage done in trafficating the state and in converting a state into a union territory. So we are happy about the result in Jammu and Kashmir and the fact that democracy has been restored, but we are totally shocked by the result in Haryana.
So, first of all, congratulations. Of course, we also look at the other half for the Congress party. In alliance with the NC, you have secured Jammu and Kashmir. But the fact of the matter is, sir, that there is a lot of talk about infighting, running up to the Haryana elections within the Congress party. How do you quash these rumors?
Well, I wouldn't call it rumors. So there were a few differences about ticket distribution. Different leaders want their followers to be given a primacy in ticket distribution. That didn't happen apparently. And there was some bickering, but it was resolved pretty soon. So I don't think that alone is responsible for the result. I think something more has happened. People talk about Jat consolidation. People talk about anti-Jat factors coming together. I mean, this will have to be analyzed. I think we can't really come out with a answer instantaneously. Even the final results are still not out. I think we'll have to await some introspection.
Sir, after the Lok Sabha elections, there was a pace, there was a tempo, there was a metronome, which was given to the Congress party. And, you did produce a fabulous result as compared to 2014 and 2019. For the upcoming assembly elections, do you think that tempo, that flow has been disrupted?
Well, I think I agree that this has been a very unfortunate result. But you see, Maharashtra is a different state, Haryana is a different state, the voters are different, the issues are different, the alliances are different. So I don't think you can impose what happened in Haryana on any other election that is a forthcoming election, whether in Maharashtra or Jharkhand or later in Delhi. I think we have a unique situation ourselves. We have a three-party alliance. And I'm quite sure that the three-party alliance will do as well as we did in Lok Sabha election. We got 65% of the seats in Lok Sabha. I don't see any reason why we cannot get 65% of the seats in assembly, which will happen, I think, sometimes next month.
So right after, the election results were more or less solidified, Mr. Jairam Ramesh and Mr. Pawan Khera, conducted a press conference, and they went on to say that there was also a problem with the EVMs. Now, of course, the BJP shot back and said that this is a classic case of sour grapes. How do you look at that?
Well, I think the issue about not uploading the result in time, or uploading the result of one party quickly and not uploading the result of other party, as quickly and all that. That has been raised by the Haryana Congress Party. But I think these issues will be taken up with the Election Commission or the appropriate authorities, and I think they'll be resolved. But I think I will look at the face value of the result as it's been given by the Election Commission and by the channels like yours, and we'll have to comment on a situation as it stands today. And that is that we seem to have lost the election. BJP will probably form the government for the third time in a row, and we'll have to analyze what went wrong.
So last question before we let you go. So what changes, if any, would you be in fact recommending and looking at ahead of the Maharashtra elections in lieu and in light of what has transpired in Jammu and Kashmir and Haryana?
I think Maharashtra, as I said, is a different state altogether. We can always draw lessons from what went wrong if you know that. But I think we will be extra careful in our Maharashtra alliances, making sure that the best candidate is fielded by all three parties, that will accommodate as many parties as possible, the smaller parties which are like-minded, and try to avoid the division of opposition votes, division of India alliance votes, anti-Modi votes or anti-BJP votes, which usually gets divided by when many people contest. BJP is trying to field as many candidates as possible to divide the votes. We will try to make sure that the votes don't get divided, and it's a bipolar contest between the two alliances, the Mahavikas Aghadi and the BJP's Mahayuti alliance.
All right. Mr. Chavan, appreciate, sir, you took out the time and spoke to us. Thank you so much, sir. All right, we're going to talk about this a lot more with Dr. Himanshu Shukla, BJP spokesperson. Sujata Paul of the Congress Party is also with us on the show. Mr. Sumit Peer, senior political commentator, joins us on the show as well. Dr. Piyush Joshi, political analyst. And last but by no means the least, Rajalakshmi Joshi, political analyst, also joins us on the show. But before we do that, I'm going to cut across to my colleague Pia, who's going to take us through some of the prominent details of what transpired in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly elections and who were some of the key faces that made this result possible. Pia, over to you.
Indeed, Vineet, a while back we've seen some of the superlatives in Haryana. Now let's take a look at the smallest margins of victory in Jammu and Kashmir. First up in Tral, where Rafiq Ahmed Nayak has won this constituency by a margin of barely 460 votes. He has in fact bagged 10,710 votes. That is just 460 more than the Congress candidate in this particular constituency. This is of course the first constituency that we're looking at. The second is in Kishtwar, where the Bharatiya Janata Party candidate Shagun Parihar ended up bagging 29,053 votes. This is 521 more votes than the National Conference's candidate who ended up securing 28,532 votes in this particular constituency. But that's not all. Close battles have also been witnessed in Patan, where the National Conference has ended up winning this seat. They've secured 29,893 votes. They have ended up with 603 more votes than the J&K's People's Conference that ended up bagging 29,290 votes. In Indarwal, an independent candidate has won this seat by securing 14,195 votes. That is 643 more than another independent candidate who secured 13,552 votes. We've seen a lot of independent candidates participate this time around in the elections in Jammu and Kashmir. In particular, they dominated the contest. But taking a look at Handwara, where Sajjad Lone of the JK People's Conference ended up securing this seat. He bagged 29,812 votes, and of course the National Conference has come second. The margin is just 662 votes. Very, very close contests have been seen in Jammu and Kashmir in particular. Another close call was in Bandipora. There has been that has seen another independent candidate bag this seat. 20,391 votes were secured by Nizamuddin Bhatt, and the Congress party's Usman Abdul Majid ended up securing 19,580 votes, and the margin is a measly 811 votes in this particular constituency. But more such constituencies have witnessed very intense battles in Devsar, where the National Conference has won this seat by securing 18,230 votes. They have won this seat by a margin of a mere 840 votes, edging out their competitor who stood at the second position. In Gurez, we see the National Conference has bagged this seat, securing 8,378 votes, as opposed to the Bharatiya Janata Party that's come in second with 7,246 votes, and the margin is 1,132 votes. We've seen the people of J&K having come out and cast their mandate, inked their finger in large numbers. In Eidgah in particular, the National Conference once again winning this seat with 7,700 votes. That is 1,680 more votes than an independent candidate who bagged 6,020 votes. In Anantnag in particular, the Congress party has won this seat. They have bagged 6,679 votes. This is a mere 1,686 more votes than their competitor who stood second. We've taken a look at the smallest margins. Let's also take a look at yet another superlative, that is the biggest margin wins. The Bharatiya Janata Party having secured 47,416 votes in Udhampur West, edging out the Congress party, soaring ahead by 20,752 votes in this particular seat. Jammu has of course been a stronghold of the BJP. Meanwhile, in Poonch Haveli, the National Conference has won this seat. They've secured 41,807 votes. The BJP stood second with 20,928 votes, and the margin is of course 20,879 votes here. In Bilawal, the BJP ended up winning with 44,629 votes. So the Congress stood second with 23,261 votes, and the margin of difference is 21,368 votes over here. In Jammu West, another seat bagged by the Bharatiya Janata Party, Arvind Gupta secured 41,963 votes. Manmohan Singh of the Congress party ended up securing 19,836 votes, and the margin, the difference is 22,127 votes over here. In Mar, yet another seat bagged by the BJP, and where the Congress stood second, the margin of the votes over here is 23,086 votes, of course. All right. Back to you, Vineet.
All right, Pia. Appreciate you giving us those details. In fact, Sujata ji, I'm going to come to you first. Well, first up, congratulations on securing Jammu and Kashmir. But obviously, people are looking at the glass half empty at this point in time for the Congress party. Your analysis of, what went wrong for you in Haryana?
Looked at, once we sit down and talk about it and figure out where we went wrong, because like every single exit poll said that we were winning. The entire country was expecting us to win, but clearly exit polls are not to be believed in the future at all. This is one lesson that I have learned at least. But on the other hand, it's also very important that we also look at some of the seats where the margins were like really low, very narrow. Like the seat from where the JJP candidate Dushyant Chautala lost. The margin was 32 between the Congress candidate and the winning BJP candidate. And if you actually look at the total number of candidates over there, there are quite a few. And there were at least 3 other Bijenders also. Our candidate was also Bijender. So this kind of micromanagement, I think, is something that we need to look at more carefully in the future as well. However, today is a day when you win some, you lose some, and we might have lost Haryana, but we are also looking at certain other factors which have come up, and they will be taken to the EC, because EC is the one that conducts elections, and they will have to take a call on that. But we are compiling certain feedback that we have got from various constituencies, and after that, like Mr. Jairam Ramesh has already mentioned in his PC, these will be taken to the EC. However, it is a great moment of rejoicing for all of us, because finally, after 10 years, elections were held in Jammu and Kashmir, even though I can't call it a state anymore. And we have promised that we are going to work towards restoration of statehood of Jammu and Kashmir, which will happen from the center, and we will ensure that that happens. So today is a day when we've lost Haryana, but we have gained Jammu and Kashmir, and the NC Congress combined is going to give the people of Jammu and Kashmir their own government, for which they have been waiting a long time.
All right, people of Jammu and Kashmir have been waiting a long time, and have they been rewarded? Is this something which is the beginning of the change that was promised to them? Is the big question here. Rajalakshmi Joshi, how do you view today's results? Obviously, it's a khatta meetha result for both the parties, I can say that.
Very good evening, Vineet. And I wouldn't really call it a khatta meetha kind of a result. I would say it is a very meetha result, actually, very frankly. In fact, there was a lot of speculation about Haryana especially, but I had always maintained that this is going to be like a Chhattisgarh kind of a situation, where initially there were a lot of problems, especially during the Lok Sabha elections. Around that time there were some issues, and even now the Congress had picked up a lot of issues, but then somehow along the way I think they lost the plot. So that is that was quite visible actually in the last few days, and we could see that that gap was actually that was getting lesser and lesser. And let me just remind you that the fact is that the Congress has not been able to put the BJP out of power even after 10 years, not in Haryana, and even in Jammu and Kashmir, the Congress has actually not done very well. It is the combined, yes, together they have, but then if you look at the Congress, they have got a dismal 6 out of 39 seats that they had contested. So even they had some issues with Mr. Omar Abdullah also. He was very blatantly saying that they have got the lion's share of seats in Jammu, but then they have not really campaigned as much. Like he was not very happy with the way in which the campaigning was handled, especially by Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So this is not something I am saying. This is something that has been there on record. So this is how things work. So today, if you look at it, the vote share, if you look at the way in which the BJP has come up tremendously in Jammu and Kashmir. In Kashmir, yes, I don't think even the BJP was expecting to get any kind of a good response in Kashmir, because that is how things are in Kashmir. But in Jammu, definitely the BJP has done extremely well, and in fact they have increased the vote share also. And in Haryana, you can see that not only have they retained the earlier seats, they have added to it with a lot more kind of a vote share, and also they have eaten away into some of the major strongholds of the Congress. So that actually, it means that a lot of the narratives have gone completely wrong. They've gone completely out of track. So I think that is a big message to the Congress about how, they should be treating. And another big message is that, this Chautala family has been completely wiped off. You can see that the Congress has actually gained, not from the BJP side. So the Congress definitely has gained much better than what they were expecting. Like the general tendency in Haryana is that when they reject a party, they completely reject it. Like say with a mere say maybe 5 seats, 7 seats. So the Congress definitely has something to rejoice there that they didn't get that number. So but then they have gained from what the INLD and what the JJP has lost. And that is actually very significant because those parties, the dynastic parties, they have been completely shown the door. So that I think is a big message that the state of Haryana has actually told the politicians that we don't want dynastic parties, we are not interested in the caste factors, we are not interested in all these issues. So those kind of things where they're talking about the caste census and they're talking about all even that jalebi ki factory, I think that has become something of a huge meme. And to tell you the truth, we have all enjoyed jalebis today. So it is a very sweet part of it also. But at the same time, like I told you, that it is not a khatta meetha kind of a thing, but a very meetha fact actually. So the Congress also, yes, they can look at the better side of things, saying that yes, we won Kashmir, and also that in Haryana we have not really lost the way in which we lost previously. So in that way,
okay, let me bring in Dr. Piyush Joshi into this conversation as well. Dr. Piyush Joshi, it's obviously worth going back to the drawing board for both the parties. I think there are a number of setbacks and there are a number of positive results, and we are in election season in the sense a number of assembly elections are in the fray. The important one, Maharashtra, is also coming up. What do you think is the takeaway here?
Well, a few days back, I think on the polling day, I did participate in one of the discussions on your channel. And I said it was Congress's election to lose in Haryana. Jammu and Kashmir was definitely going to go the India Alliance's way. But I think BJP has to gain from it only because Haryana was a lost cause for Bharatiya Janata Party. And the sentiments were really against the Bharatiya Janata Party. To begin with, in last 3 months, the micromanagement of Bharatiya Janata Party has actually worked in their favor. This Jat versus non-Jat, I heard Raj Lakshmi ji speaking about the caste factor, that the people of Haryana have rejected the caste factor. It was actually the caste factor that the Bharatiya Janata Party banged upon, that Hooda represents only the Jats and the non-Jats are going to vote for the Bharatiya Janata Party, and they played this card very aggressively. So certainly drawing board, every party should go back to the drawing board, particularly the party that I actually favor most, that is Aam Aadmi Party, because the third major loss for the Aam Aadmi Party. So certainly a time for huge introspection for them. And they need to go back to the drawing board and see what went wrong. And also derive some energy from the present seat which nobody expected. And in Haryana, it was a very, they need to see.
There seems to be, sir, there seems to be a problem with your network. In fact, let me, why don't you log off, sir, and log in again? There seems to be some issue with your internet. Your audio is freezing time and again. Sumit Peer, Jammu and Kashmir, how is that? Is there any positive for the Bharatiya Janata Party in Jammu and Kashmir according to you?
Vinny, thank you very much for having me on your show. Give me a minute, I need to explain a lot of things. First of all, lost. They have lost. But if you look technically, building up to 30 seats is the number I had given on your channel 2 days back. We're not go beyond 30.
Sumit, just hold on. There seems to be a problem on our side with the network. We're going to get that rectified. But, we're going to cut to those live visuals. Home Minister Amit Shah being congratulated at the BJP headquarters in Delhi for the victory that they have pulled off, for the lack of a better word, in Haryana. Obviously, this is a galvanizing victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party that must have felt, slight disappointment after what happened in the Lok Sabha elections. But nevertheless, the Bharatiya Janata Party pulled up their socks, took care of business, and perhaps even leveraged some of the shortcomings of the Congress party in the state. They did appeal to the urban populace. They did take care of the farmers' issues as well.
हार में न जीत में, किंचित नहीं भयभीत में, संघर्ष पथ पर जो भी मिला, ये भी सही वो भी सही, ये भी सही वो भी सही। जब दोष है तब भी अधिक रहे अब सैकड़ों है साथ, हम भाजपा के पहली है मन में लिया है साथ, मजबूत भाजपा होगी, मजबूत देश ये होगा, संघर्षों का परिणाम हमारे विकसित भारत होगा। तो कदम मिला हाथ बढ़ा मुझे हर पल ये नारा, हर गाँव गली हर रास्ता हो चंपा चंपा भाजपा, हर गाँव गली हर रास्ता हो चंपा चंपा भाजपा, चंपा चंपा भाजपा, चंपा चंपा भाजपा। हार नहीं मानेंगे, रार नहीं ठानेंगे, संघर्षों के पथ पर चलकर लक्ष्य को हम पालेंगे। उसका मान बढ़ाना है, हर गली हर कूचे में भगवा परचम लहराना है, भगवा परचम लहराना है। तो कदम मिला हाथ बढ़ा मुझे हर पल ये नारा, हर गाँव गली हर रास्ता हो चंपा चंपा भाजपा, हर गाँव गली हर रास्ता हो चंपा चंपा भाजपा, चंपा चंपा भाजपा, चंपा चंपा भाजपा।
Mahima Kataria, my colleague, is joining us at this point in time. Mahima, celebrations visible at the BJP headquarters in Delhi. This is obviously, has re-galvanized the party after, somewhat of a, average performance in the Lok Sabha elections. And considering in light and lieu of, the upcoming assembly elections in Maharashtra and Delhi and Jharkhand as well, this is very, very positive news for the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Where the celebrations are on the way. The ruling BJP is all set to retain power in Haryana, leading in 49 seats and halting the Congress comeback in the state after a decade. If you talk about Jammu and Kashmir, the performance in Jammu and Kashmir was not up to the mark by the Bharatiya Janata Party, but before the arrival of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, there have been slogans that if this time they have won Haryana, and now the next will be Delhi. So definitely the upcoming elections will be in Maharashtra or Jharkhand. It seems that BJP, after the victory from Haryana, or if you say after the victory of Haryana, BJP is all set to contest in Jharkhand and Maharashtra. They're all step up. If you talk about the Gandhi idea, it is some accuracy of the names, but nothing tried. The BJP workers are, as you all know, that Prime Minister has always spoken and has been always vocal about the BJP workers, how strengthening of the workers has been the major goal of the Bharatiya Janata Party. But now we'll have to wait and watch this time Prime Minister right here in the BJP headquarters. The voting makers, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will Bharatiya Janata Party headquarters, and the BJP retains power in Haryana for the first time. Similarly, waiting what we can see that what Prime Minister Narendra Modi will say from this very stage after the win of Haryana.
You joining us. So as you can see, Mahima, if you're still there with us, Mahima, Mahima, is the Prime Minister also likely to come and speak and congratulate the cadre for such a fantastic job that they have done in Haryana? What do we know about that? All right, Mahima, appreciate you joining us. All right, we are back and so are our guests. Sumit Peer, sorry for that interjection and that interruption. You were in the middle of responding to how this is a mixed bag for both the parties. But the pointed question was, is there any silver lining for the Bharatiya Janata Party in Jammu and Kashmir?
We need allow me today because what we see in J&K around 30 seats, 29, 30, whatever the number freezes at on. It is the best ever performance of the BJP, and this is the best performance which is possible. I'll tell you why. Straightway direct answer. Look, 60 to 65 seats are Muslim dominated out of, put all 90 seats. So basically what you can get, and if you look at the independents, you can get 30 to 32 seats. That is the maximum you can get. Look at the population rate of Hindus and Muslims, 32 and 68. So if you go by the logic of 32, you will get around 30, 32 seats. That is what the 28% of the total seats is. This is how it has worked for BJP. Now this time they have done fantastically well, from 24 coming up to 30, 32. This was my prediction. This is what I had predicted on your channel 2 days back, because this is logically what is possible. The message is that BJP voters are intact. Some new voters have recognized the efforts of Prime Minister Modi. Prime Minister Modi has done for J&K what nobody in independent India could do. He has got so much of development and things on the J&K, but unfortunately, if you look at the Kashmir Valley, out of 47, 45 seats are Muslim dominated, and in Jammu, around 15 seats which are Muslim dominated. So there's a voting pattern. That's why Congress tied with NC, because Congress tied with NC so that they could secure their political fortunes. Now Congress has all the reasons to celebrate today, Vinit, because bhai jeet gaye hain. But let me give you one piece of number. Congress contested 32 seats. You know how many seats they won? NC contested 51, 51, they won 41. Congress contested 32, they won 18. Congress was at a hit rate of 18%. And all the candidates which Congress have won, they're all Muslim candidates. If you want, I can give you the names, I can give you the vote share, I can tell you which candidate has won this much. And there have been candidates like, there's candidate from Irfan Hafiz Loan. He has won by 771 votes. There's another candidate who has won by Nizamuddin Bhatt, 881 votes. So there have been also a close shave for these Congress candidates. So the thing is that the valley and the most of the areas still vote as per religion. BJP has made a comeback, BJP has done its things, but still there's a long way to go. I would give all the marks to BJP, but at the end of the day, let's wake up and smell reality. what we saw in parliamentary elections of 2024, and what we saw exactly in the Karnataka elections before, and this election. Muslim community is not voting for BJP. Come what you may say, come what quarter you might have, come what whichever morcha you are, Muslim morcha, ye morcha, o morcha, but at the end of the day, they do not culminate into votes. Congress played the trick well, they got the people, NC gave them the leverage, so they put together, could do the things. If there was not, as the alliance was not there, BJP would have got a couple of more seats, then there was a fighting chance. And unfortunately, the independents in the fray, from Jamaat, from Rashid Engineer, whatever, did not do anything. Bukhari Saab could not do anything.
Okay. All right. Let me also rope in Dr. Himanshu Shukla into this conversation. Dr. Shukla, if you're there with us.
Sure.
All right. First of all, it's a big respite also for the Bharatiya Janata Party, isn't it? Because all the exit polls got it wrong again, but this time in your favor as compared to what happened at the Lok Sabha.
See, it is coming nothing of surprise, as we all have done so much, we have put so much effort since 10 years. So people have believed that only BJP is the development. As you can see, my friend was telling just before that Congress is now hiding. Congress is now secured because they have, tied the alliance with NC. So the nation has believed that Congress Bharat will be soon. So everywhere they are decreasing, and we have done so much. We have created so much increased infrastructure, both Jammu and Kashmir and Haryana. We have, increased the women education, women employment everywhere in J&K, Haryana. For the first time in the history, it has been, impeccable due to Narendra Modi ji's decision that 2 lakh tourists were able to, go Kashmir. In fact, I was the one of them.
Okay, problem with your network, Dr. Shukla. I'll come back to you momentarily. Sujata Paulji, this is obviously also a case of going back to the drawing board. We had the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra who spoke to me and did mention that there are some problems, there is introspection, there was infighting within the Congress party as well. How do you think such a thing can be addressed when you have little to no time for some of the assembly elections in the future? All right, there seems to be a problem with that connection. We are just going to cut across to the shots coming in from the BJP headquarters. All right, Sujata ji, if you can hear me, I'll repeat my question if you were not able to hear it earlier on. Sujata ji?
Yes, please repeat the question.
So Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, a stalwart in your party, has admitted, that there are problems. There was infighting. There was some issue with ticket distribution as well. Is that a good sign, considering that, a few of the important assembly elections for you, where your prospects could be high, are very close?
I don't agree that these are issues that cannot be resolved. We live in a democracy, and in our party also, maybe this democracy is a little in excess, but it is democracy. We are able to speak our minds, and of course, sometimes the message which goes out into the public can be wrong. I don't deny that. However, the micromanagement of the BJP is what, one of the important things that we need to look into. And the fact that somebody was mentioning how we have not done well, and everybody seemed to be wanting to talk about how Congress hasn't done well. And it has been happening through the day, in spite of the fact that we won one state and they won, BJP has won another state. What are the takeaways from here? The takeaways are that we need to introspect and see where we went wrong. And if we also need to get into this micromanagement, which we don't do, because we will be targeted, that's perfectly fine, because success has many fathers and failure has none, and that is what happens. when you lose an election and you have a machinery like that of the BJP, which gets, all the media also to attack us more than they question the BJP, which is what has been happening through the day. But that's all very well. However, what is very important is that if you look at the elections this time, the regional parties have been completely decimated. You look at JJP, not a single seat. Your INLD has apparently got 2 seats. Look at PDP. So the regional parties, which were always which played a very major role, have been sidelined, and now this bipolarity in elections will also be we'll have to look at it in a different way and try to work around this as well. However, Engineer Rashid and Ram Rahim, if they got bails, it did work in Haryana, but it didn't work in Jammu and Kashmir as far as the Congress party is concerned. So it worked in our favor, the entire scenario. So the point is that when you are working with people, no matter who says what, because I just heard Sumit P.G. say that Muslims will not vote for BJP. So is the BJP trying to say that they do not, they do not aspire for the Muslim votes? And if, because sabka saath, sabka vikas kaise hoga if you are going to, look at the Muslims in a way that they are not going to vote for you. You have to work for everybody, no matter which party you are. And for us, whether they are Brahmins or Thakurs or Dalits or, backward classes, we do need everybody's vote, and that is how we work. And what we say when we talk about the caste census is entirely different, so the two things should not be mixed up. We are talking about giving a platform to everybody according to their community, the size of their community, so that they can come forward. A country can only progress when every single person, every single community gets that platform, gets those opportunities where they can better themselves. So everything gets mixed up, and BJP is an expert at doing that. I concede that. But today, I think we will be going back to the drawing board and look at the mistakes we made. We will be studying that, and we will see how we can get into this management, maybe not micromanagement BJP style, but definitely management at the lowest level. And that I think is going to help, because as far as the wrestlers are concerned, or the farmers are concerned, the youth are concerned, everybody seems to be having a problem. What is it that they did not vote us in? However, we haven't failed there. If you look at what I think somebody mentioned, that in Haryana, either they reject you completely or they embrace you completely. This time, this is not what has happened. So you have a strong opposition even in Haryana.
All right, Rajalakshmi Joshi, what does this do to the Bharatiya Janata Party's prospects for Maharashtra, which also, according to pollsters and opinion polls so far, seem to be very dim?
Vineet, even today, even before the results were completely out, there were statements from the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena that, the Congress always falters when it is in a direct fight with the BJP. So that was a statement from, that was an official statement from the UBT. So, so these kind of statements have already started coming in. So you can see that definitely, things are not going to be easy for the Congress in Maharashtra. So there is a lot of infighting. There were seat sharing issues even during the Lok Sabha elections. But at that time, there were some narratives that were built, which, the BJP has been able to counter during these elections. Now in Haryana, they have definitely countered all those narratives. So, if you have noticed that this time around, Mr. Rahul Gandhi didn't go around talking about how the constitution is going to be changed, because he realized that the BJP has worked very strongly about it, that that narrative has been demolished. So that he did not really talk about that. So those kind of issues were there during the Lok Sabha elections. So there is this huge difference between what was happening during the Lok Sabha elections and now. So in Maharashtra, it took a big beating at that time because of all these issues. So, people did definitely have a fear that the constitution will be changed and all the reservation will be taken away, and a lot of people definitely were they were agonized at that thought, and that actually caused a huge difference. So that all those issues right now have been tackled by the BJP, and at the same time the Congress definitely is in a much weaker position in Maharashtra. So in other states also, definitely, in Jharkhand also, this is definitely going to affect. In Delhi also it will affect. Already the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress are not on good terms. See, now you have seen that in Haryana itself, they fought together during the Lok Sabha elections, and now this time around they were not contesting together. So you don't have any chances of them again joining hands in the Delhi elections also. So all these further elections definitely are going to be affected by all of this. So this definitely will have an impact. This election result today will definitely have an impact on the future elections. Now, I just wanted to clarify, I just wanted to add to one thing about this Kashmir. In Kashmir, definitely we have a lot of development, and things have completely changed. There is definitely a huge turnaround in how things are happening there. So my fear is that again the people of Jammu should not be sidelined because of the people from Kashmir. The political parties mainly from Kashmir taking over the entire issue, so which has been happening all this time. So there already, there is this conflict about whether, one NC is talking about how they will take back Article 370, and how the Congress is not, it's in two minds about it, and there is not much clarity about that. So all those kind of issues should not actually be coming back, because right now I think that the people have already accepted it. It is definitely not an issue, but then the political parties are trying to make it an issue. So this thing about how the progress has happened, all the cinema halls, all the medical infrastructure, all the medical colleges, all of that coming up there, that should not actually take a beating because of some political vested interest. So all of this, I think, definitely in the other state elections to come, all of this will definitely impact it. But at the same time, I think that this thing about caste, what I was talking about is that, Modi ji, he was talking about how certain castes have been favored and certain castes are going to definitely benefit by certain political parties. And that is the reason why I think that a lot of people thought that they should be getting rid of all these things, and that is why there was definitely an anti-Jat kind of a vote. And even Vinesh Fogart found it extremely difficult to win. She won with very barely she has won. And also the Vinesh Fogart factor was given a lot of importance. So it was almost as if the Congress thought that they had this trump card, but then they forgot that her guru is somebody who has actually been saying that he and all the other wrestlers and all the other Olympians have been getting a lot of support in the BJP regime right now. So the BJP government has been supporting them. So they actually have lost the plot there. They thought that they can bank on all these Olympians. They can think that Vinesh Fogart is going to actually help them win. That didn't happen. So they were living under some myth, thinking that they are actually in a very strong position, whereas they were not. So I think that they should accept certain things and stop talking about how the EVMs are misfunctioning and how the counting is not going on well, all those kind of issues. And actually they should get down to actually thinking about how they
Right,
should
that's a good issue that you brought up, Dr. Joshi. Dr. Piyush Joshi, if you can hear me.
I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, what about the EVM issue that has been brought up? Isn't that once again, a concern about sour grapes?
Well, the opposition has to make up its mind whether the EVMs are right or whether the EVMs are wrong. This pendulum-like movement is not going to help them at all. So, and also it is for the election commission, to subject all the electronic voting machines for a forensic analysis, because till date, despite, with due respect to the Honorable Supreme Court, the EVMs have never been analyzed by forensic scientists. So let's just just settle this debate once and for all. and so that democracy can function in a proper manner. But I think the BJP is to be congratulated for winning Haryana, and the Congress and NC combined needs to be congratulated for winning the state of Jammu and Kashmir. I personally don't think that the EVMs are rigged. I think the micromanagement plays a very important role. Apart from micromanagement, the door-to-door connect of the Bharatiya Janata Party, the strong cadre of Bharatiya Janata Party, the Congress had very strong sentiments in Haryana, in its favor. But the Bharatiya Janata Party cadre, it just keeps knocking relentlessly time and again at your doorstep. And the Congress's Seva Dal is in doldrums when it comes to that. So I think lots and lots of positives for the opposition as well as the party in power in Haryana to go back to. Each and every political party needs to focus on its strengths, and then they need to work on it. Those political parties which are lacking in cadre needs to build up their cadre. And today's election has symbolized one thing, that democracy is still alive and well in this country. It is ultimately the people's vote that matters, the people's wishes that matters. And surprisingly, I'm kind of happy with the result of Jammu and Kashmir in particular. The free and fair election, zero violence election, this is something that we all should be celebrating. I would not say that the PDP is anti-national or National Conference is anti-national. When the Bharatiya Janata Party PDP joined hands together, I kind of welcomed it, because that's the true nature of democracy. When people with opposite, opposite ideologies, just totally opposite ideas come together to make a state function. That's what democracy is all about, and that's how mature democracies function all around the world. That's what we aspire to. So hum hi hum hai to kya hum hai, tum hi tum ho to kya tum ho. That's how the democracy should be functioning. That's what today's elections results have shown us. But yes, Congress and Aam Aadmi Party in particular need to go back to the drawing board, need to start working on their nitty-gritties and pull up their socks, work very, very hard, because the Bharatiya Janata Party's behemoth is there, is there for them to fight. And I think in Maharashtra, in Haryana, in Jharkhand and in Delhi, opposition is going to perform way, way, way better. They are going to take lessons from this Haryana loss, and I think they are going to win all 3 elections in the months to come.
All right. Okay.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.